project going to the planning board at the end of the month. Yeah, it'll be, greenfield construction. Yeah, the owner seems like a really great guy. He's wanting to do small, like one bedroom, two bedroom, couple three bedrooms. Like people are trying to find out. Yeah, definitely. Whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening. The hour of 6:30 PM having arrived, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel and the city website. The video is also posted on the city website by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. Anyone wishing to view a copy of the agenda and supporting materials will find it on the city website. To receive electronic copies of future agenda packets, please go to the homepage and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The public and other board members will be recognized to ask questions and make comments on the agenda item under discussion. After being recognized, all remarks are to be made through the chair. Anyone who wishes to address the board is asked to go to one of the microphones in the room and to identify themselves by name and address prior to speaking. As a reminder, the minute taker is participating remotely this evening. Board members, please make sure to turn on your microphone when speaking. If the minute taker is unable to hear, they will ask that you speak louder or turn your microphone on. Thank you. So, passing it to staff to do a roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Richard Clow,
Here?
Edward Guyot,
Here.
Tad Schrantz, Adam Burke,
Here.
and Zach Leroy.
Here.
And Mr. Chairman, it would be appropriate to recognize Mr. Leroy as a voting member this evening.
All right, let us do so. Mr. Leroy is installed as a voting member for tonight. All right. Do we have any unfinished, minutes from the previous meeting, which was March 3rd, 2025? Has everyone had a chance to review them? Does anyone wish to make any amends to it? All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
All right, that was Mr. Burke. We're still so new. Mr. Burke made the motion, and
I'll second.
Mr. Guyot is seconding it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that was unanimous, none opposed. All right, do we have any unfinished business?
No unfinished business this evening.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to our first hearing. Should I first ask if, knowing that this is a four-member board, that the petitioner would wish us to move forward with just 4 members?
Yes,
Are you comfortable with a 4-member board this evening?
I think we're fine.
All right, then we will proceed. The hearing is ZBA 2025-02, petitioner Marcia Parody of 61 Aldrich Road, represented by Wendy Pelletier of Cardinal Surveying and Land Planning, requests a variance for property located at 53 Aldrich Road, tax map number 234-010-000. This property is in the rural district and is owned by Marcia Parody. The petitioner requests a variance to permit the replacement of an existing dwelling with a new dwelling while maintaining the current 38-foot setback where 50 feet is required per Article 3.1.2 of the zoning regulations. So first, we'll pass it over to staff for any background information.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The subject parcel is an existing 12.2 acre lot with an existing single family residence, detached garage, and associated site improvements. The existing residence was constructed in 1960, containing approximately 1,257 square feet of living area, and is located approximately 38 feet from the side property line. The majority of the lot is characterized by steep slopes and wetlands. The applicant states in their narrative that the existing house location is the only relatively flat portion of the lot suitable for development. The applicant is seeking a variance to demolish the existing residence and construct a new single-family residence in the general building area, but not the same footprint of the existing residence. The new residence will be located 38 feet from the property line so as not to encroach further into the side yard setback than the current site conditions. A variance is required for the new residence to be located within the side yard setback, as this proposal is categorized as the relocation of a non-conforming structure, which is only allowed without a variance if the relocation would make the structure conforming. Surrounding uses to the property include residential to the north, south, east, and west, predominantly single-family residential, as well as some undeveloped land to the east. The entire neighborhood area is all zoned rural, with a small pocket of low density development over in the northeast area near where the Aldrich Road and Hurricane Road intersection is located. Relevant sections of the zoning ordinance include the purpose statement for the rural density district, which is intended to provide for areas of very low density development, predominantly of a residential or agricultural nature. These areas are generally outside the valley floor, beyond where water and sewer and other city services can be readily supplied. The dimensions and siting requirements for the rural zone is relevant in that all yard setbacks, so front, rear, and side, is normally 50 feet. And then the section for the relocation in our non-conforming structure standards, 19.3.3. A non-conforming structure may not be relocated in whole or part to any other location on the same lot unless such relocation would make the structure conforming. And that's why we are here this evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does any member of the board have any further questions for staff? All right, then let's invite the petitioner to come forward, introduce yourself, and present your case.
Good evening, Wendy Pelletier from Cardinal Surveying, representing Marsha Perotti. Evan did a great job of introducing the lot. It is a 12-acre lot, and it's a very abnormal shape. At some point, there was a house lot taken out of right in the middle of it, which makes building a house anywhere else on this lot almost impossible. We didn't explore the northeast side, but due to wetlands and slopes and other terrain, it just doesn't make sense to build a house down there, that we were gonna look at subdividing. So the Perottis have looked at tearing down the existing house, which was built in the 60s, and building in the same location. As you can see in the picture, moving it even just a little bit, then it becomes on the steep slopes. If you see the picture of the house on the front of your handout, the stone wall is uphill from the house, about 38 feet. Beyond this is what you might know as the Perotti's, is it Monadnock View? Monadnock View Christmas Tree Farm. So they own a large parcel just beyond this also, and plan to replace the house with a very similar footprint or size. So would you like me to go through the criteria?
Yes, please, if you could go through the criteria. You
Okay.
don't have to do it verbatim if you want to.
Oh, good.
Just sort of,
'Cause that gets
yeah,
boring.
just sort of summarize the key points.
Okay. So granting the variance would not be contrary to public interest. The existing dwelling on the property will be replaced with a new dwelling no closer than the existing dwelling, and it doesn't threaten the public health, safety, or welfare. Article number 2, if the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed, because the spirit of the ordinance is, as Evan said, it's a rural development, and this house will not change the feel of the neighborhood. Everything is very rural out there. It's still going to be the same place, still small dwelling. Number 3, granting the variance would do substantial justice. It doesn't alter the character of the neighborhood, and as we said, due to the unique shape of the lot, there's no place else practical to build on this lot other than right in that space. So that would do justice for the client. Number 4, the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished. And as we've said, the house will remain the same. It will actually maybe improve other properties because the value of the house would be more than it is now. It's getting a little rundown. Unnecessary hardships, and owing to the specifics, the special conditions of this property, and really due to the shape of the lot, the existing dwelling, where it sets, the slopes and the wetlands, that distinguishes it from other lots in the area. And the 50-foot setback just wouldn't work on this property. So we feel that it's a fair waiver to ask for. Doesn't change anything. And the proposed use is a reasonable one, and it's again, still a residential lot, or residential use. And it won't be increasing the nonconformity.
Thank you. Do we have any of the board members who would like to ask any questions?
Just a quick question. The 38-foot, I'm sorry, the 38-foot measurement, is that on the straight boundary line on the right-hand side next to the Christmas Tree Farm property?
Yes,
Or
it is.
Or is it to the front?
It's, nope,
Looks
it's
like
on the side.
Looks like
And I
it's
think,
the side. Okay, just want to be clear on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just looking, is my site plan in here? Yes, so page 30 of the handout is a copy of my site plan. So we did go out and survey it, so you can see where the stone wall is, and 38 feet is the closest corner on that dwelling.
Any other? Yes.
And did I catch this correctly? You also own that lot that's next to it for the Christmas tree farm?
The priority's on the abutting lot, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. We might have a question later on.
Okay,
but
thank you.
That's fine for now. All right, do we have any public here who are opposed to the request? Don't see anyone. Any public here who are in support?
Be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any further comments from anybody? Okay, since there were no comments, you don't have to respond to anything. Let's close the public hearing and go into deliberations. So let's go through these point by point. Hopefully this is fairly straightforward, but you might have some questions that I haven't thought of. So our first question, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. Thoughts on that?
I think they meet that legal criteria. There's no harm to public safety or the neighborhood character based on the application.
Agreed.
All right, Mr. Guyot agrees. I do too, to be honest. Number 2, if the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. Again, thoughts on that?
I also think this one meets the criteria. It maintains the existing non-conforming setback without any encroachment beyond the 38 feet setback it currently holds.
Right, I might also add that from just a perspective, a sightline perspective, the proposed dwelling, the bulk of the proposed dwelling is actually further away from the lot line than the existing dwelling corner. Just looking at the site plan here, it seems to me it's gonna look like it's further away.
Mhm.
Is that a garage or a bump out on the?
Small garage, yeah.
Small garage, so
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think it meets that criteria as well.
And yes, I mean, it is a dwelling, it's still a single family, and it wouldn't encroach any closer than the existing, essentially. Number 3, granting the variance would do substantial justice. Thoughts on that?
I think from the owner's perspective, it does do substantial justice, just going to the point that they bring up in the application, that it's the unique shape and the slopes of the lot that are really causing the challenge here, and it's the only place it can go. And looking at the slope within halfway through the house, you've got probably close to a 5 to 10 foot drop. So it's a unique site, pretty challenging.
I agree. Also, looking at the parcel layout, it's like, okay, that section where they're placing it in, if you didn't place the house there, you'd have to put a driveway that goes all the way up to the larger section. And if I'm guessing what the topo lines would be, you'd still probably be running very close to the 38 feet because that's the higher ground and everything else slopes away from it, and it looks like it slopes down into wetlands. So it's not like all that big area there would be buildable. So I agree with that. I don't see how else you could site it anywhere else on that property.
And the fact that you're basically just replacing the existing home in the same location for the most part makes all the sense.
Yes, I mean, otherwise it would be extending a driveway and having to, I mean, I don't know what the water situation is, but it would be a significant change in all of the services for it to try and relocate it, with possibly not gaining more than a few feet of setback. So I agree with that. Number 4, if the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished.
I think it meets that criteria. If anything, I think it's going to improve the value of the properties because you're updating the existing structure.
Agreed.
I would agree as well.
Unnecessary hardship. Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship.
Yeah, it also meets that criteria. So I think just the wetlands and the slope surfaces on the property provide a hardship to try to move it to meet the setback requirements. So I would say it meets that criteria as well.
Yeah, agreed on all those points.
Yeah, I think it's, when you look at the map and you realize that, you know, the other building lot that was chopped out of it would have been the only other place you probably could have built if it had all been one contiguous unit. Pretty much makes that the case, and yeah, I don't see any solution that would not be really costly and not be much of a gain. And then the second, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to this property. Again, I don't see how trying to enforce a 50-foot and when there's no place else to build it would be doing justice. And I don't think it's disserving the existing ordinances. The proposed use is a reasonable one. Yeah, everyone's nodding their head. Again, it's a domicile, so there's no change in the usage. Same footprint, pretty much, same placement. All the other setbacks are fine. It's just this one And I won't worry about B because we've covered the criteria. All right, does anyone have anything else to add?
I do not.
All right, then I would entertain a motion to accept the applicant.
Make a motion to accept?
Okay,
Second that
so
motion.
would you like to read the whole?
Oh. What part do I need to
Please,
read?
please.
It's
Am I
just
just
the,
reading the request part?
Yeah, it's a motion to approve, and then it's just the legal language that's at the agenda for the hearing. It's the request.
So motion to approve ZBA 2025-02, 61 Aldrich Road, that part of it is what I'm reading?
Yeah, just start with the petitioner requesting a variance to permit.
I don't think I'm in the right part. Oh, there. So motion to approve the variance for ZBA, for tax map 234-010-000. Property is located in Rural District owned by Marshall Garrity.
Just keep going.
The petitioner requests a variance to permit the replacement of an existing dwelling with a new dwelling while maintaining the current 38-foot setback where 50 feet is required.
All right, and do we have a second?
I'll second. Ed Guile.
All right, so let us go through the criteria and vote on them. All right, number one, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. All those in favor? Unanimous? None opposed? Number two, if the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. All those in favor? Again, unanimous? Number three, granting the variance would do substantial justice. All those in favor? Again, unanimous? Four, if the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. All those in favor? Again, unanimous. Number five, unnecessary hardship. Owing to the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. Again, all those in favor? Again, that's unanimous. And lastly, the proposed use is a reasonable one. Again, all those in favor? All right, and a final vote on ZBA 2025-02. All those in favor? And again, it is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you're welcome. So, do we have any new business?
No new business.
All right. And staff updates.
Yeah, I will, I guess the first thing I'm going to do after that sort of a motion kind of question mark, like how should the motion be phrased? If you're all comfortable, I can put some suggested motion language in the staff report, so we're not kind of coming up with it on the fly. Cool, yeah, that's an easy fix.
Absolutely.
Okay, so two staff updates. Shameless plug for the master plan update. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the city is going through a comprehensive master plan update. KeenMasterPlan.com, check it out. We've got, let's see, we just finished 6 strategic pillars. We're going to be the main tenets of the document itself. We've got June 3rd, another future summit where we're going to be releasing the draft document. And then there's another survey going out probably sometime in the next week or so to get some kind of final feedback on the strategic pillars, the overarching strategies, and then the goals and the action items themselves to just kind of sort of zero it in before we go to with a full draft of the document. And then we're also working on the future land use map to kind of look at the zoning districts, look at the current development pattern in the city, and see what we like, see what we would like to change, and probably surprising nobody, we're all looking at with our housing glasses on and looking for more opportunities for housing, so, as well as other uses in town, so. That's that, and then we also have the council actions on annual reporting. The memo was included in your packet. It's Councilor Haas made a request to City Council that was discussed, and so City Council is requesting sort of an annual briefing on the business of all the boards and commissions within the city. It's our understanding that it's a pretty low amount of effort. The chair or representative can give that presentation in person if they so choose, or a brief letter to City Council is also perfectly acceptable. And you can definitely work with staff support, me, to figure out what makes the most sense and help getting it all put together. It seems to be voluntary, but staff is generally in support of all the boards and commissions kind of checking in periodically. Specifically for the zoning board, our business is pretty rigid statutorily and well documented, so it might not be the most exciting exercise versus maybe more of the not business boards, but like the Heritage Commission or the Energy and Climate Commission, for example. They're doing much more sort of creative work that doesn't always get the attention it maybe deserves. So it's a good opportunity for them, but it's also a good opportunity for us to check in with City Council and let them know what we're all doing. So that's what's up with that.
So that's something, basically, you could give us a heads up on. It would be, they would be maybe expecting something in a month, or 2 months or something like that, and you could just either catch us here and say, we'd like to, put something together and determine what it is, or would you just need to talk to me about that part of it?
It's kind of up to you guys. It's probably going to be the responsibility of the chair to either write the letter or attend the City Council subcommittee meeting most appropriate for the presentation. But you as a board can decide if you want to, or Rich and I can just figure it out, so.
Any thoughts from anyone else?
It looks like they would like something on or about July 1.
I think that's the initial sort of target.
Right.
Okay. Yes, we can recognize the person at the microphone.
Yes. Jay Kahn, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first want to say I'm attending this evening. This is a fairly inconvenient time for many, so I have not been to planning board, zoning board meetings. I managed to get out 4 days a week or 4 nights a week. So I had nothing else to do before the NCAA game tonight. So I'll be brief so that you guys get to see it too. I noticed your minutes of the last meeting that you had a leadership transition from March to April. I wanted to come and say thank you for stepping up, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, and thank the 4 of you for being consistent participants and members, active members of this committee It's a very important committee. You know, it's quasi legislative, and but your actions are final unless they're appealed. And so let me reflect at that juncture on the possible schedule that you might think of for your report. There is a legislative session going on. There's a lot of rethinking around zoning and what if there is going to be a zoning board of appeals, or we go back to the courts for determinations of appeals. Not sure how all of this stuff is going to work out. However, you might think about how your work over this past year has translated into what kind of volume, because I think that we don't aggregate that information very much for any of our committees. But, so maybe you've had 30 appeals or 20 appeals, or frankly, nobody knows how many appeals you've had in the course of a year. So that might be the kind of public interest that the council might be interested in. That you approved this many, that some were sent back, for a second or third hearing, whatever. I usually you don't send anything back. In any case, but then you could also tee up what some of your concerns are relative to these legislative transitions. Kind of give a heads up to here's some things that we're concerned about. We think we can adjust this way, that way, or you get the idea. So I don't think you need to wait for the end of a fiscal year or the end of a calendar year necessarily. Take advantage of maybe that there are no other committees seeking to do their report at the same time, and because of the quasi legislative function that you have and relates to state government, it might make some sense to look to that schedule. I'd also recommend that you work with your staff liaison. They've got your records, in pretty good order, I'm sure. I read them. And so I trust that those are in good order and that they can provide you with a report, take a month to take a look at it, and maybe target that delivery of that sometime in October, and then the city council can receive that. I think the chairman should attend that meeting in case there are some questions. And that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for all that you're doing. I really appreciate it. You got some ideas of nominees. I'd like to fill in your membership on the committee. And yeah, it's a tough one to fill. But given what I saw tonight, 30 minutes and I just took 5.
All right, thank you very much.
So just to follow on the mayor really quickly, that's actually, it's a really good point. Collecting that information of how many cases, the actions taken on those cases, that's easy to put together. That's a great little tidbit of information for city council. It's kind of an interesting situation where, generally speaking, we don't want variance applicants. We want people to work within the zoning ordinance, but it's also good to, if we're getting the same request for the same variance over and over and over again, it's a great way to track that and be like, hey, maybe it's time to change the zoning ordinance because obviously this isn't working how we want it to be working. And then also just a shameless plug, if you're following what's going on in the legislative session at the state level right now, there are a lot of potential changes to local control and what authority municipalities have for their zoning ordinances and stuff like that. So it's worth checking out. And then if you've got opinions, you should contact your representatives about them.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything else to add? All right, then let us adjourn, and I will see you next month. Thank you.